with this snatch, but Sergei for Moldova is the defending European champion, a title that he took in Tirana this time last year. Margarian, third in the Junior European Championships this time last year, one of three rising stars from the junior ranks. The runner-up in the 2012 European Championships is Chenkov of Bulgaria. Second, the Bulgarians, and fourth in the 2013 Europeans is Ferdinaziev. There is Scarantino, 2013 Junior European Champion, also a representative of the Italian weightlifting team at the 2012 Summer Olympic Games in London. Croitero of Romania, a silver medalist from the European Championships a year ago. For Turkey, Algul İsmet Algul, a silver medalist in the under-23 European Championships. Gogabua of Belgium, 2009 European champion. Vizitiu, again for Romania, I should say, an under-17 European champion. Well, as always, Eurosport's resident weightlifting expert, Michaela Breeze, is in the commentary box. Michaela with...
Spain, España, this is 115 kilos. We saw him take the lead quite comfortably in the B group. He's one to beat here today. His results do count in this evening's competition. And here he is coming out for his second clean and jerk. This was 138 kilos. And saw him win the B group by some margin. The lifters in the A group won't necessarily be watching out too much, but it's down to the coaches to pay particular attention to what went on before. See, they had to work very hard to stand up out of the clean. Only just made it. Now, at that point, you wouldn't put your bets on him getting this, but look at this. Drove the bar to arm's length, managed to stand still. Superb lifting. Really gutsy performance.
253 the total weight for Bracci, and 253 his total score. Now, as you can see, an impressive lineup of previous winners, with Oleg Sergei of Moldova here to defend his title.
See back there, Halil Mutlu, who broke the world and European records back in 2000 and 2001. They stand at 138 on the snatch, 168 clean and jerk. Some massive targets. I don't think we're going to see them surpassed today. This is the scoreboard that you can see in front. This is what the coaches will be looking at very carefully, trying to pick the weights, make the right calls. You can see 103 kilos, looks like it's going to be the first of Spain, lifted 115 from the B group, so his results could play an important part here in the standings.
Oh, and that's not the start that Margarian was hoping for.
Well, he was very, very fast underneath the bar, but with these kind of weights, you've got to be spot on in terms of precision. Just on his heels, couldn't quite steady himself, jumped back to get out of the way. Not worth risking the elbows and shoulders trying to fight that kind of weight overhead.
Down and Flori Vizitiu goes up. The next lifter is Todorchenko, Bulgaria. Please prepare.
The bar's going to stay at 103 kilos, and Margarian will have to come out and follow himself. That means he will get 2 minutes on the clock as opposed to the 1 minute. 2 minutes isn't much time to recover, but the snatch doesn't take as much out of you as the clean and jerk. So you'll see him come out in a second. See the athletes just wandering around in the background. They will be timing their warm-up, so...
And as Michaela has pointed out, after some impressive performances from the athletes in the B division, he needs to put this one away and keep moving up through the weight. That's a little more like it.
And now,
Little shake of the head there. He knows he should have had that on his first attempt. These lifters only have 3 attempts at the snatch, 3 attempts at the clean and jerk, so it really is essential they nail as many of them as possible. Missing your first lift puts you under pressure. If you miss 2, then the pressure really does start to mount. Here, very fast, nice and solid underneath the bar. He's in the competition. The bar automatically now goes up by just 1 kilo until the coaches or athlete nominates their chosen weight for the second attempt. See him picture there. Croitoru of Romania. 15 kilo discs on the bar, coloured yellow. Green weights are 10 kilos, the blue ones are 20. The heaviest of all the weights are red, which are 25 kilos. This is Gorga Boya with 105 kilos on the bar, just warming up. His chosen weight is 109, so he's almost there, almost at top weight. In my view, looking at the scoreboard, he's almost warmed up a little bit too early. There's still quite a few lifters still to come out before he starts.
Todorchenko, Bulgaria, first attempt.
So, Todorchenkov for Bulgaria. First attempt at 108 kilograms. Now, Chenkov, just 21 years of age, has a PB of 113. So, Todorchenkov will be looking to get this 108 out of the way nice and quickly, because 115 was the best snatch weights from the B final. That's the way to do it. That's the way to get a good competition underway. Todorchenkov will be very happy with that.
Rocking back. Some lifters have different styles of how to set themselves, but after that initial rock back, he does come back into a strong starting position before the bar comes off the floor. Lands nice on flat feet. Very strong opening attempt. See the Bulgarian coaches there rushing around. They have 2 athletes to keep an eye on in the warm-up room. 1 is enough. 2 can be trouble.
Moldova will be next up on the stage. Oleg Sergey, the defending champion. Very interested to see the defending champion, Michaela, come in. He's got a PB of 122, but he's opted to start his campaign at 109 here.
Well, that can only be a sign that his training hasn't gone to plan. He's obviously lacking leg strength or lacking sharpness. This is 2 kilos up on what he originally posted as well. He put 107 in, this is 109, so based on previous form, you'd expect this to go up fairly comfortably. The tape on his shins there is just to stop the bar ripping them. Ideally, you don't really want to be ripping the bar up your shins. That's a sign that you're holding it with your arms and pulling it onto you. So if any lifters out there have that issue, just try and relax your arms, drive more positively with the legs. Goodness me, didn't he sit into a deep squat position? Very, very deep in the receiving position. Only the feet are allowed to touch the platform, no other part of the body, so if his bottom touches the platform, it would be deemed a no lift. Just out of shot there, you can't quite see. I don't reckon there was much room.
Almost touching his backside on the stage floor.
Very, very close.
But successful nonetheless. The defending champion, Oleg Sergey for Moldova, going into his second lift and looking to improve on 109. And now,
Magarayan missed his first attempt on 103, then took a 2 kilo increase, a bit risky, but nailed it on his second. This is now 4 kilo improvement.
To 109. Oh, it's got it a little skew, but gets it away.
That doesn't matter, so long as the arms stay locked. The elbows must stay in lock, they cannot bend. If the bar tips slightly on one side, obviously it's more stress on the joints. There's no rule to say you can't do that. Needs to stand still, feet in line before being given the down signal. Relaxed leg extension at the top, but very quick. I really wanted that lift. Good recovery.
First chance to take a look at the teenager from Italy, Mirko Scarantino, just 19 years of age. 14th at the London Olympic Games. And some impressive junior form to his name, Mirko Scarantino. Italians absolutely delighted to have won the first 3 golds in both the individual snatch and clean and jerk and total or overall competitions in the women's 48 kilo division. Now, let's see if Italy can maintain its impressive start to these European Championships.
Quick look at the clock just to see how long he has left. Fantastic extension. Really uses those legs powerfully. Now, the coach's job here is to keep Scarantino under wraps, to keep him calm, keep him composed, because he is a little bit wild when it comes to this kind of level of competition. Really rises to the occasion.
Well, lots of emotion, lots of adrenaline, but it's all been converted to strength and power right now for Scarantino. That's an impressive opener at 110 kilos.
Well, here's Tom Gergerboer, Belgium. Tom has competitions that span back to 1993.
39 years of age, putting us all to shame, Michaela, really.
And you know, at 38 just last year, he won the bronze medal in this weight category, so absolutely superb. And I've known Tom for many years, and he's fluctuated between the 62 kilo category and the category we see him in today, the 56. And I know the discipline that Tom has to put in to make weight and to keep himself in this kind of shape. What a long career.
So Tom Gergerboer for Belgium, 110 kilos, his first lift of the snatch division here. .125 is his PB, but that was at a slightly heavier weight. Next division up.
Did well to steady himself there, nearly lost that in front. That was a great effort from Tom. His best in this bodyweight category is only 115, so that's 110. Look comfortable. I think there's going to be more to come. He'll take confidence from that lift. Ooh, let's have a look at this. It was failed. That's an elbow. Yeah, right elbow there. Flicker of the right elbow. Referee saw it. I didn't. Unlucky that. Failed 2-1. We saw in the women's weight category there was a lift similar to that was passed. But the rules are the rules. The elbows must go to lock and stay there. That one didn't, so he's going to have to come back out and take that on his second attempt.
Visi to you for Romania. Again, his first lift at 110.
His warm-up must have gone well. He posted 105. It's an increase of 5 kilos.
No.
Well, he's a young lifter. We've gone from Tom being the oldest lifter to Daniel here as the youngest lifter. Maybe a little inexperience there. Tried to hold on to that a bit too long. And you can see he's got very long arms. That's quite dangerous to risk trying to fight those weights. See, he's got no muscles in his arms. You don't need it when you're lifting, but you do need stability in the shoulders, and there you can't pull that back when it's gone that far behind.
Well, that's a disappointment for the Romanian teenager, just 18 years of age, European youth champion at under 17. And another lifter struggling at 110.
Remember, we're still not up to the weight from the B group yet, so as it stands, the Spanish lifter finds himself sat quite comfortably at the moment in the lead.
Let's take a look at the Bulgarian, Ferdi Nazif, attempting to lift 111 kilos. A very good point that you make, Michaela. 115 from the B group is still the best so far. Early days. And I have to say that the Romanian Croitoru has changed his opening lift to 120. Let's wait for that to come.
Oh, that was solid.
Very controlled opening lift from Ferdi Nazif of Bulgaria, 5th in this competition last year, the 2013 Europeans.
It's quite a wide stance to start with, but doesn't he make that look comfortable? People ask me how wide should the feet be when they're lifting as the bar comes off the floor. I always say, get ready to jump as high as you can. That's where you need your feet.
İsmet Algul for Turkey. Another lifter choosing to open his 3 snatch performances at 111 kilograms. 116 is his PB, just 21 years of age. He'll take that.
Very solid opening attempt. Looks a bit strange there before he started the lift. It looked like the bar was wonky on the platform, but he was looking at the centre referee. But confident opening attempt. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more to come there. Well, there's all change in the warm-up room.
Now let's just take a look at the current standings. Josu Brachi for Spain still at the top of the table, putting down 115 kilos in his second attempt. So Todorchenkov for Bulgaria at 111 for his second. Still has work to do to get into the top flight here. He's currently down in 8th position. I would have thought he'd have gone for a little bit more weight, but maybe he's saving that to a third and final performance.
I always say to my athletes, it's not the weight that you start on, it's the weight that you finish on that's most important. And he's putting a good chain of lifts together here. That's 2 out of 2, 1 to go. Personal best of 113. He's only 2 kilos below best here, so hopefully we'll see at least an equal, maybe a kilo or 2 on top of that.
This is backstage in the warm-up area. It's Vizitiu. 111 for Daniel to lift, youngest performer. And by our records here, he's way over his PB already.
Oh, dear me.
No, that's a second failure, 110 and 111. It's all going horribly wrong for the youngster.
Well, this is going to be one huge test for somebody so young. You can just see the body language here. You can see he's close to tears. When you train this hard for something, and it means so much. But he, from a coaching point of view, he missed that in a very simple way. Simply put too much effort in. This young lad is obviously growing and developing very rapidly. And overlifted that. The bar came crashing down on top of him in the receiving position. And that's why he couldn't hold it. It really is important to feel the weight off the floor, to work out how much effort to put in. Maybe with the added adrenaline on the day, he just overlifting. Now, I always find that the weight is lighter when you step foot onto an international stage. Extra adrenaline.
Well, in stark contrast, Gogabua of Belgium, 21 years older than the young Romanian, who has just had a second failure, but the veteran from Belgium also under a little bit of pressure here. Missing his first lift, now attempting 112 on his second.
If a lifter fails a lift, they have the option to take the same weight again, which most lifters do. Putting it up is risky, very risky.
Now let's hope that the judges don't spot any problems with that second performance. From our perspective, certainly mine here in the commentary box, that looked good enough to record 112.
Absolutely nailed it. 3 kilos below his best. Now let's see what Tom can do. 1 attempt remaining.
That keeps his competition hopes alive. Back to the youngster, Vizitiu, Daniel Vizitiu.
Let's hope he can achieve this. I'm not too sure on the coach's tactics here. He missed 110, then missed 111. They've now put the bar to 112. The weight's not the issue, that's for sure. He's well capable of another 5 kilos or more. The question is, can he land in a really solid receiving position, or is this bar going to deck him again?
This is all about the mental focus now. Really does need to try and visualize his way through this third and final chance to stay in this competition.
That's better, much better.
Yes, he's done it. Well done.
Do you know what? This young man, I'm going to put money on next year, this young man taking a medal. He's got a lot to learn, a lot of experience to gain, but the leg power and the speed into that receiving position, if only he can work out the timing, there's so much more to come. He's going to be one to watch out for in the next few years.
Well, Vizitiu runs out of time, runs out of performances. His third and final lift successful at 112 kilograms. But due to those problems in the first and second, that's his snatch competition over. Bulgaria are next up. This is Todor Chenkov. His third and final lift at 113 kilos. This is to equal his personal best.
Very short on the extension. Cannot afford to cut the lift short, not on these kind of weights. Watch as it passes the knees, just backing off from it, throwing his shoulders back, never fully committed. Can't afford to look up at the bar, you've got to be underneath, knowing where it's going to go.
So Chenkov will have to settle for 111 and 6th position at this point in the competition. Oleg Sergey for Moldova. 114 kilos for his second lift. Just need to point out that we are still waiting to see Florin Croitoru of Romania, who is still waiting in the warm-up area, has set the mark at 120 kilos for his opening lift. Let's get back to Sergey here. He needs to start putting in some good work as the defending champion.
Wow, again just throwing his shoulders back, ducking out the way of it, not fully committed.
No lift for Oleg.
Really is a fine line, a very, very fine line between success and failure at these kind of weights.
Joseph Bracchi from the B final still leads. Gogabua of Belgium lies second.
Belgium, you ready?
Mirko Scarantino for Italy, 114. His second lift. He's there. He lets us all know it as well.
Well, he really is a rising star. 14th at the Olympic Games in London back in 2012. His performances are literally going from strength to strength.
Good technique, nice and dynamic, no shortage of emotion. There's the young lady who started this Italian, incredibly positive Italian start to these European Championships. That's Jenny Pagliaro watching on and doing everything she can to keep her young teammates at Scarantino in this competition. He's only 19 years of age. Now, Oleg Sergey is back on the stage for a second attempt at 114 kilos. This is his third and final lift.
I'm not happy with the collar there. Just making sure it's done up and it's tight enough. Last thing you want is the weight sliding when the bar's overhead. Just trying to lock that thumb underneath his fingers.
And it's all over for Oleg Sergey.
Well, the defending European champion has found himself now under some serious pressure going into the second half of the competition. At least 6 kilos down, maybe more.
Finds himself down in 10th position. That is a huge disappointment for Oleg. Second lift for İsmet Algul of Turkey, 115 kilos. Now, success here would put him into joint first position, as you can see from the graphic on your screens. First lift of 111 kilos, pretty straightforward, went very nicely.
This will put him into the lead by virtue of lighter body weight. Coach is shouting for him to stand still.
And there it is, that is success. All good for İsmet Algul of Turkey, going into top position.
A little bit short on that extension, but compensates by being super quick underneath the bar.
Ali Tom is the cry from the coach of Tom Gogabur. 115.
Not sure who's more nervous, athletes or coaches. At least as an athlete you can control it. As a coach you have to stand back and watch.
Now let's see if Gogabur, success here would put him back into the top flight, into the medals.
Oh, well done, Tom, that was awesome.
What a great competition for the 39-year-old veteran from Belgium, Tom Gogabur. Into second position, lifting 115, exactly the same as İsmet Algul, but is just a little heavier in body weight, which puts him into second spot.
These graphics are not taking into consideration the results from the B group earlier. I make that down in third by virtue of slightly heavier body weight. My mistake, he is slightly lighter.
Look at this young lad. Scarantino, what a character. I do like the fact, Michaela, that Jenny as well is following Mirko around. It's a real team affair here from the Italians. Now 116 kilos for Ferdi Nazif of Bulgaria. This will be the heaviest lift of the evening if Nazif is successful here. 5th in the European Championships last year. We see his PB as high as 126. Oh, he almost got it. Just pushed onto his heels and then could not recover.
Well, that really is frustrating. He was so close. It looked like for a moment there he had it in the bottom position. Really solid there, but the momentum on the bar. I'd like to have seen him drop that behind rather than fight it for as long as he did. That's quite risky, risking a lot of injury there.
116 kilos for the third and final lift for Mirko Scarantino. This to go into the lead. Oh, he's there.
Oh, no,
he's not.
Whoa.
Oh, dramatic fall from Mirko Scarantino. It's his third and final attempt, going for 116. I thought he was there, Michaela.
I thought he'd lost an elbow then, going backwards. That was very risky, almost going back down into a squat position with it. Should have let go of that a little earlier. Well, so close, but so far.
Oh, and he knows it's Scarantino, because that keeps him in fourth position.
Well, Scarantino is renowned for getting very, very fired up. He's done well to bring that down. Needs to go and sit down, calm down. The snatch is now behind him. There's nothing he can do. Just to focus on what is still to come.
Romania, please prepare to 170.
Nazif Ferdi for Bulgaria. Second attempt at 116 kilos. Again, success here. We'll put the Bulgarian into top position. No, it's not there. Oh, dear me.
No.
And he's going to be desperately disappointed with that. And here, good extension, just backed off as he dropped underneath. If only they had a fourth attempt.
As you quite rightly say, Michaela, they need to keep their calm and focus for the second part of this competition, the clean and jerk. So, in a very comfortable position, Florian Croitoriu, just 20 years of age, 2013 European Championship runner-up, former junior champion, 9th in the 2012 Olympic Games, a 135 PB. This could just take it with his first lift.
Bravo indeed.
There it is. That is the European title, and he's only picked it up once. Now, he could have a little bit of a tussle with İsmet Alkul of Turkey, who will now attempt 117. But what a way to start your European Championship.
Well, I think he could have done 2 or 3 reps on that. Didn't that look comfortable? Goodness me. I think there's a lot more to come there.
So, here we go. Ismet Algul needs to take the competition now to the Romanian. Lifting this. We'll put him into top position. He's the lighter of the 2 lifters. If there's a tie, remember, the lighter weightlifter is given top position. But this is his 3rd and final lift in the snatch division. Oh, no. Well, what a disappointment for Algul. Stays in 2nd position, which means after just 1 lift, Florin Croitoru has done enough to take the gold. And he's out there with his 2nd attempt. For glory, or is he out there with a big 2nd attempt to try and put himself in a little bit of a better position in the 2nd part of the competition, Michaela?
Well, I wouldn't be complacent here. He's got 117 under his belt, but looking at the starting list for the clean and jerk, Sergei has a starter of 140, whereas Croitoru only has 130. Scarantino also has 140, so it's important now that we see Croitoru really focus on this lift. He really does need this. No complacency. He needs as much as he can get on the snatch.
Looking to build the advantage in part 1 to carry over into part 2 of the competition. He's done enough to take the gold in the snatch, but he wants that overall gold to go with this one. Oh, yes.
Well, let's put this in perspective. He has an absolute personal best of 135 kilos in the snatch. So 120. One referee failed him there. He only had that as a 2-to-1 lift. Let's have a look. No, I didn't see anything wrong with that. More rotation at the shoulders, which appeared to be some movement, but there's no movement in the elbows. That's a good lift. He has 1 attempt still to come.
And he's building on that advantage that you talked of there. Oleg Sergei is now 11 kilos behind, and that's the kind of difference that he needs to build. The question now is, what will he come out and try and put down on his 3rd and final lift? Tom Gogeberger, the 39-year-old veteran from Belgium, there is in 3rd position. Ismet Algul of Turkey holds on to 2nd position.
The lifter from the B group currently sat in 4th position as he goes into the clean and jerk. That's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. He had a 138 clean and jerk, so the others still have a lot of work to do to secure any medals.
So it looks like he's going for 122.
Seems like a sensible call.
Give himself a nice buffer, wouldn't it, going into part 2 clean and jerk, where it appears that he's some 10 kilos off the target of his opponents.
This will give him the lead going into the clean and jerk of 7 kilos.
Croitoru. Gold in the snatch is already his. But this is all to do with his game plan for part 2 of this competition, the clean and jerk, which will be coming up shortly.
He's got it.
Oh, yes, he has done it.
Eventually stand still. Both feet must be in line before the referees will give you the down signal.
3 white dots from the jury. He's all good to go, and
well, he's wearing a Team GB t-shirt, and I don't think we'd say no if he came over here to compete. It's a souvenir from the Olympic Games by the looks of it, where he finished 9th in London. in a very strong position now after the snatch.
Confirmation that Croitoru of Romania is in a comfortable position to take the overall here, and takes top spot in the snatch, with Algul and Gogabua taking the silver and the bronze for Turkey and for Belgium. The B finalists, Josu Brahi from Spain in 4th position, Scarantino for Italy in 5th, Vizitiu 6th, Kozlovski for Poland 7th, and Chenkov of Bulgaria in 8th position. Croitoru of Romania, the man to beat, moving into the clean and jerk. Well, the defending champion, Oleg Sergey, in 11th position. And of course,